Hello, my friend. Today I'm going to give you a very early preview of the new effect and particle editor. Yeah, I will change the name of it at some point. But and we are going to make a timer-based explosion. And well, let's just get on with it. Let's add a new emitter and call it beam. We will start with a beam. Make a beam and then let it hit a spot somewhere and then make a explosion around it. Okay, so here is just a default emitter you can see, and can just move it up a little here. To make the beam, we are going to use one of the great features of the wicked particle system, and that János made, and that's the motion blur. I can just show you what that is. Let's change this into something like give it more particles and perhaps some gravity and some velocity. 500 perhaps. 500. No, we don't want to do that. We just want to use the normal factor, like so, and speed up the random factor, make the particles smaller, like so, and, well, add many of them, like that. We could try to put on some random colors, just so you can see what it is. And then I can show you what the motion blur does. Is you can see here when I increase it, yeah, the particles get longer in the direction they are traveling, and that just looks so great. And you can use that to make some really great particle effects. Let's move it up here. Yeah, it looks great. Chips, but let's make a beam. So let's change this into a beam, and we will do that by, well, what color should we use? Yellow beam, perhaps, a little darker, like so. And we don't want all that normal stuff. Random we don't need. Live, it should be a pretty short one. And we want it to go downwards, so we will make this like so. So we have a beam from up and down, and that's the motion blur that is controlling that. You can see we have all these particles. We only need 0 or 1, only one, and we want it to be a burst emitter, so we can control it. You can see it here, it's shooting down, but we don't want that. We want a stable beam, like so, and it should go way up to, like, yeah, I do. That looks pretty nice. Just move this up a bit. We can just try to display the start marker. You see it is hidden exactly at the start marker. Perhaps we can improve it a bit if we add something else. Nah, we need it to be larger, and then perhaps grow it in size, like so, and more emission. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. We don't want anything random. We want it to be stable at half a second. Burst. That looks pretty nice, but let's try perhaps this one. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we have here a large collection of particles you can use. We have all these are from the kenny.nl. He's made all these into the public domain, so I'm allowed here to add it. And thanks to Kenny for that. Then I will have some others you can use for alpha blending. And we have some we can use for flickbooks. We're coming back to that. But let's just continue here, and we have our burst. So let's add another emitter to this effect. And we could start by making a smoke ring. Oops. Smoke ring. Chips. It will start up with the default particle emitter, so we will just change that. We don't want any gravity on this one. We want it to be larger, and then we want to, well, I added a lot of new stuff to the Wicked particle system to be able to do whatever I wanted here. Like if I wanted to make the particles move in a ring, you can do that now, like so. Oops, not 1000. You see, it's now moving around in a ring. We could use that to make some great effects with rings around the player. Just try to add something like this. You see, that just looks so great. Oops, and perhaps a little. And we will boot it up to 3000. We'll see how that look. Or it could be flames. Like this. Use a cloud. Rotate them a bit so they rotate around here, so it get a little more random. Just a little bit of gravity like that. Yeah, it looks great. Well, but what we want to do now is make a wave, a smoke ring wave, kind of shock wave ring. We will just drop all the particles and make it a burst. Just like this. Then I added this one. It's the normal, which you can say you want the particles to spread out in a ring. So we can say we want it at the speed 500 and 500, and then we can try to burst it. Poof! You see they move out now. Not too. They need to go faster, I think. Let's try that. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. So let's make them larger, and we will make them grow by time, so they get larger and larger, like so. And we will move it up a bit. Oops. Let's check that. So they're flying here, and we want them a little bit larger. Oops, oops. Like so. And let's see about the random. We have the random here. Well, it kind of looks okay, but we want a bit more of these. Perhaps 1000. Yeah, that's better. And we want them to move a bit faster. Let's try this. Yeah, the life of them we want to be smaller. Yeah, that looks pretty well. Let's go with this. Perhaps we should do a little bit of randomness. That looks pretty nice. A little bit down. Okay, that's fine. Well, perhaps we should just make it smoke instead of this color. And not so bright. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now we need to time it with the beam. You see, the beam need to hit first before we execute this one. So we are going to delay this emitter, and we can do that here, burst delay. And this is in milliseconds, so we set it to half a second and check out how that look. When you use this one up here, it will burst, poof. It will burst all the emitters, or start all the emitters. And that is how the final effect will look. That looks great. The beam is hitting and then we get that smoke ring. That's fine. Okay, let's add another actual explosion now. Add another emitter. An explosion. We're just going to use a flip book for that, so we are going to move the explosion up a bit. We want it to start around here. We can just hide the player marker, we don't really need it at the moment. Then we want it to be a burst emitter. Start by 1. And we want a flipbook animation. So let's take this one. We will set that to, you can see it running here in the preview. It's pretty small, I think, so let's make it larger. You can see it now. We want it to be really large, 50 perhaps. Yeah, and then we don't want any random life, and we want the life or the how long it will last to be exactly the animations in the flipbook. So let's try that. Poof, poof. That looks pretty well. It should not. It should fade in faster. And let's see, we should just like so, and we want it to fade out more slowly. Now we needed this to be not addictive, but alpha blending, as it's a transparent texture, so you see that looks way better. We will just make it larger. Poof. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Let's just check it, compare it to the start marker. That's pretty nice. So then we want it to grow by time, so scaling, like so. Let's see that, and it growing. And we like 8 of these. See, now it's starting to look like a real explosion. A huge explosion. We want it to rotate. Not that much, just a little bit. We want a little randomness into it. It's starting to look great. A little more randomness. A little more. No, not live. It should be small, but random. No, not random live. We need random. random factor to go up. Okay, and I think we will move it up a bit so it starts up higher. That looks great. Yeah. Okay, then let's just get it all together and see. Poof. Yeah, the explosion should not start as fast, so we will set that to around 400 milliseconds. So it starts before the smoke ring. Let's see how that looks. Wow. It looks great. We might even make it larger, this explosion, perhaps even up to 100, not 1000. Let's see how that is. 2. Really great. Perhaps a little more randomness into it, random factor, like so. Yeah. Okay, it's starting to look really great. So let's add something else. Let's add some smoke here to around the player, or some. No, let's try to make an explosion with some rocks coming at us. So let's add another emitter. Rocks, chips like this. Where do we want it to fire from? I think around here. We don't want any of this, we just want it to spread out some rocks, so we do the normal factor. You can see here, this is how they will come at us. I'm sure we're going to change them into rocks. And we're going to make it 200 rocks. Burst. Don't want this, we only want the burst. Poof. I think they are moving too slow. Let's get it up to 800. And perhaps add some randomness to it. That's too much, isn't it? Well, 700. No, we go down to 500 then. Yeah, that's fine. And then a little more randomness. Random factor. Doops. Poof. Yes. Then we are going to change it into a rock. We can do that by using a alpha blending rock. I made some here that you can use. And set it to alpha. Blend mode alpha. And give it a try. You see now they're coming here at us. Poof. They need to be larger. Yeah, they're starting to look like rocks. Great looking rocks. We don't want them to fade out as fast, so we will add to the opacity. I think that's fine. When they hit us here, they're still like rocks. Chew. Well, I'm going to show you another feature that let's add not 3,000, 300. Another feature I added here. If we burst all, you can now pause all the animations, and yeah, you can move them forward one frame at a time. Let's just check out these rocks, because there is another great feature in there that János added to the particle system. And check out this. We'll just take the rock and change this to soft lighting. Yeah, even though these are particles, you can see you can add lighting to them. That makes it the So they look really like 3D objects. It looks so much better. That's a great feature. Let's just try this. First of all, yeah, you can see we need to delay this. Burst delay. Should we do it as after the ring is started, like this? Wow. Poof. I think they're a bit too large and they don't move fast enough. Let's make them a little bit smaller and make them move faster. Yeah, you can really play around with all this until you get a perfect result. Poof. I think they're too small, too large still. Like so, perhaps. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, perhaps it should go down a bit. I like it to move from here, from the ground, like this. I'm not really an artist, so I have to experiment my way around all this. As you can see, well, that looks pretty nice. Yeah, wow. I want them to move faster. Like so. Ah, okay. 700. Oh, well, let's just move on. Let's add some smoke here to the area where we have the explosion. So after the explosion, we will have some smoke. Smoke on the ground. And we can just keep doing all this. And for this, we were going to add... just hitting him. We're going to add a volume. A volume like this. We're just going to size it. I need to change this. It will size. You can see now it's coming, but it's take too long to. Let's just do like this. Here it comes. So we have an area here. Perhaps it's too large, but let's try it. Let's see how they're spreading out. I want them to... Yeah, perhaps we should make it a little smaller. Then we want some smoke. Perhaps black smoke. Fading time. That don't look really nice. Let's make it. Let's make them grow over time. Scaling. Way better. We want to fade them in slowly. And we want them to start below the ground. Just try to add a little of this. They're coming off of the ground. This will not really help us, will it? You see they are following the wind. That could be something. Let's just try something else here. First that. don't really what I want. I want it to be smaller. Let's just get it up here so I can see it. Where do we have our player? In the middle there. Let's burst it. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Just a little area around the player. That looks pretty nice. Let's give them some life so they last longer. And only one in gravity. So it stick down to the ground. That looks pretty nice. Should we make it another color? Let's just see how everything looks. It should start as nearly the last thing. The life is too long. Like so, and then let's spawn it. Burst delay 800. Let's try that. Yeah, that could work. Perhaps we should spawn this like so. Yeah. Or perhaps fire. How would that look? That looks pretty nice. Well, let's just stick to the black smoke and make it less subtle, like so. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, and as you can see, when you have something called volume, you're also able to control not only the position but also the size. You can control that, and rotation. But let's just remove it for now. And let's see how everything looks. Burst all. Poof. We'll see we have the smoke here, where the explosion was. It will last some time. That just looks great. Let's try to get into it. Closer. Wow. That looks great. Poof. Well, I'm not sure about the explosion, the main explosion. This one. It could be better, I think. Let's try to move it up. Yeah, we need it up. So we see more of it, like so. I think that's way better. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's how it should look. It's just great. Poof. Well, I don't mind about the FPS, it's just my machine here. You can see here. It has nothing to do with the particles. They are really fast, so you can't nearly see any FPS difference. So, but I have a little problem with my computer when I record. I'm not sure what it is, so don't mind that. So we have a great effect now. Explosion. Poof. Yeah. So that's mainly what I wanted to show you, how we can use this, and you can see we could make a great looking explosion in no time. And I'm not an artist, so I'm sure all you artists and designers out there will be able to do something incredible with this. So I'm really looking forward to getting this out of alpha so we can get some testers with it. So I think perhaps next week I'm going to make a beta version of it, perhaps, so people can try it. So, well, I can just show you how easy it is to make weather effects like rain and stuff like that. Let's just remove everything. Oops. add a new emitter, rain, create emitter, and let's move it up. Oops, we will just make it a volume. And well, this resizing I really need to improve. So, but for now, perhaps you need to play around with the size, because you can make this follow the player around. You can just show our start marker. See, we want the rain to come down, so we move it up. I think it should be a little more up. Perhaps there. Let's see how it looks from here. Fine. So, let's make it rain. Gravity. Downwards. Sure, you can control the speed, how fast you want the rain to drop. And here we have some, well, not so good looking rain, but we can easily change that. I want it a little bit up. Like this, we want it to slowly fade in. Like that. And then we want it to, well, now we can just try with these squares to see if we can make a rain out of it, but we have some here we can use, like these, but let's just make the square look like rain. First we want way more of these, so we have 1500, and it's starting to look like snow now, so let's make them smaller size. We don't want any random size on it, so let's remove that. See, now we have some falling, just make it slower for now. Some falling dots, so we will make it a bit larger and then spread it out in the direction it is moving, and we can do that. You always saw that by this, using this motion bluer. Okay, it's way too large now. Let's make it smaller. Dips. And here we go. We have a rain effect. Great. Great, great. It's too large, but you can play around with all this. Or we can just choose a particle for it, like this one would work pretty well, I think. Then it's too small, but we can just adjust it here. Well, now it's really looking like rain. It's looking great, I think. Well, it might be we need them to a little less of this, so they're not so long. Perhaps a little, I like it like this, a little subtle, but you can still see it. And you can see they're fading in here, so you can't really see where they start, the rain, and you get it directly into your head. And then we have this feature, it can follow the player around. So if I take player in volume, it will place the player inside the volume and see what happens when I move. The volume is following the player. So we have a rain all over the place, no matter where we go. Chips, like so. Just for the hell of it, let's try and make some raindrops on the ground. Well, I think I need to end this video soon. I could keep on playing with this, but let's just quickly do a ground. What do you call that? Oh, just ground. Doops, doops, doops. Make it a volume. Size it. this faster. Well, we'll just do a small one, like so. So we have something on the ground now. Just remove this. Don't look pretty nice. So we need them to go downwards first. Actually, we don't want any gravity, I think. We want them to start up a little high like this and then go downwards pretty quickly. Yes. Then we want to perhaps start the collision. Oh, we have a restitution on, so we're going to put that down to 0.01. So what is happening is when these particles hit something of using the debuffer, they will stop and stay there. Like if I try to raise this up, you can see they are falling, and when they hit the ground, they're stopping. That looks pretty nice. So we can use that to make some splashing from the rain. Just place it so they just hit, like so, and then we have some splash. Well, perhaps we need some kind of something looking like this. You see, it's already starting to look like rain dropping down. We can just so we can see them better. They need to move way faster. We don't want any random life. We want them to be really quick. Quicker. See now let me make it more subtle. Now you can see the raindrops. We can just add more. Too much. So now the rain is generating splashes. They need to be more subtle. Yeah, that's starting to look like it's working. It is working, I think. Sure, you can improve this just by perhaps changing colors. A little bluish. Also for the rain, a little bluish. Like so. Yeah, well, you need to play around with this some more. I've just made them a little larger. Wow, check it out. It just looks so great. Well, that was just a very early sneak peek of the effect and particulator and what you can expect from it. So, until next time, have a great day.